Good morning, stackers. What do I think gold's next major price target might be? We'll take a quick look at that. We'll also do a Monday morning weekly forecast. We'll talk silver, platinum, we'll talk Bitcoin, crypto, and more. You are watching Good Morning Stackers, brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, Mastering the Markets, masteringthemarkets.com, and Stormrake, stormrake.com, your full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. It's Monday, the 16th of June, 2025. My name is Joe Main. Let's do a quick synchronized slurp. Grab your tasty beverage. 3, 2, 1, go. You got to slurp it, and I know you miss it when I don't go live. I go live on Tuesdays and on Thursdays on X and on YouTube. Hit the big red subscribe button and follow me at all those amazing places. Here is gold on the quarterly time frame, priced in US dollars, 3,443. Now we've seen the Israel-Iran conflict flare up. And we've seen gold shoot up a little bit higher. Now, I think it was going to do that anyway. I just think this has just done it maybe just a tiny little bit sooner. I want to show you something I posted a couple of days ago on a Facebook forum, the Gold and Silver Stackers Australia Facebook forum. And I said, this was on June the 12th, I said gold, while it's above the green zone, 3,355 US dollars, I believe a new all-time high is on its way in the next 30 days. Now, this is before the Israel-Iran thing, okay? So I think it was going to happen anyway. What am I talking about? Let me show you on the daily time frame. And I'll pop in a couple of indicators right here. It was based on that, it was based on that, and it was this trend line and that one, and it wasn't that one. I think it was the uptrend line as well, but that's close enough for jazz. Gold on the daily time frame, using the tradingview.com website. So the fact that we had broken through this downtrend line, so we came up, we came back to retest it. I said, while we're above this downtrend line, I think a new all-time high is coming. And I was very confident when we broke out of this green box right here. This is from the Fibonacci, from this high and this recent low. Then you break through the zag zone right there, the top end of the zag zone, the expected area that you need to break back out of to say, oh, onwards and upwards from there. And we did that. So I said right here, I'm expecting new all-time high in gold in the next 30 days. We since broke through this next downtrend line. Good sign. And then, of course, with Iran and Israel, that's just shot it up probably just a little bit quicker than it probably would have, but I still would have said new all-time high anyway. So still thinking at this stage, regardless of what's going on, geopolitically around the world, I think a new all-time high in gold is coming really soon, definitely within the next 30 days. I give you a 95% guarantee on that, barring black swan events and things that we can't see. So I think we're going to make a new all-time high. So that's good. Where do I think, what do we need to watch out for? And then we'll talk about the next sort of major targets moving higher. Just watch out for on this shorter term time frame. Even if we do make a new all-time high in gold, just watch out that it is not potentially a bearish divergence. That all that means is, very simply, is that you make a higher high on the price. Pick a price. It doesn't matter. It could be right there. That's technically a higher high, or up here. I don't know, but pick a point. There's your point, and you won't know it's the high until it starts to pivot. Okay, so it starts to make some lower prices, but you'll know eventually where it maybe creates a wick, something like that. But it finds a higher price. Okay, higher high, but then it might either be a lower high on the relative strength index, or it flattens out. It doesn't make a higher high as well. So that's a divergence of patterns. Does that make sense? So that's a bearish divergence. Higher high, everyone's going, oh, go gold, go gold. People like me and people who watch this are going, oh, guys, just watch out because we haven't made technically a higher high on the relative strength index. So that might signal a bit of weakness, and then you could see some weakness. Now, does that mean it's over and dusted and done and dusted for gold? No. I think gold's going to 8,000, 10,000 US dollars per ounce later on down the track. Okay, just watch out for that. In the short term, what you would want to see, if you want to see it absolutely rocket up, is make a higher high. Wherever that does it, and this is again on the daily time frame, you want to see that close somewhere above here. Okay, so just watch out potential bearish divergence. Definitely not saying it's 100% happening, but let's pull out to the more macro and see what that next sort of major target Might be. You didn't want to see that. You want that. I'll get rid of you. And I'll get rid of you and you and you. So we're going to take it back to the macro. Now here's the monthly time frame. Here's some good news on the monthly time frame. We're actually out of, so far, we're out of bearish divergence territory now. Why? Because see this right there? Look at that. That's actually higher than there. So you've got a higher high. You've actually technically got a higher high on that monthly as well. So you're actually in convergence. So there's nothing saying at this stage that gold is looking now at topping out. At least even for a short term, I was saying back here, before we printed a higher high here, I was saying you got to watch out for that bearish divergence, which was true because it was not printing a higher high. Now that we've done that, you could move a bit higher. And of course, with things going on with conflicts, that could push it even higher. So where's the next major target that I see that I think it will take some pause at least there? Now, am I saying it will go to these prices? Definitely. No, I'm just saying watch out for these general areas. So I'm going to take, I'm going to do the big macro one. And as you know, I've been following this very closely for a good number of years. And this is the old school Fibonacci from the 80s. Okay, so we're talking about the high of the 80s. And I'll get rid of the RSI for you. And the low of the early 90s. So this is the big macro look on gold. The highs of about 870 something, the lows of 250 something USD in the late 90s, early 2000s. This tracks still for me personally very well. I think you have resistance here. I've talked about the reasons why many times before where I really like this old school Fibonacci, this high and this low. Look at this, the 2.618 from this high and this low, bang on. That's in 2011. That's exact resistance at that $1,900 level. I still think this is the major one to look for. So the next major level and the next major target that I think gold could hit before taking a bit of a pause, okay, is at the 6.854, and that's at 4,530 US dollars. So watch out for that area. Could I be wrong? Yes. Should you dollar cost average anyway? Yes. Does it really matter in the long term? No. But just watch out for there, okay? About 4,530. Is there another little area that we can look at as well? Yes, I'll take the Fibonacci from the 2011 high and the more recent low of 2015. And that's this one right here. Do we notice any converging of Fibonacci prices? Okay, yes. A couple of convergence right here. So between this high and this low, you've got the 4.236, and that's at 4,750. So I'm going to pop in a range for you. So this is my personal, you do you, my personal next major target for gold. Along the way, we'll take probably a pause up here, okay, anywhere up to here. So I'm going to pop in that rectangle right there for you. And again, just if you want to do your own charts, do your own charts. If you want to stay updated, of course, just hit the big red subscribe button and follow me on Twitter, on X as well. That is my range, and I'll pop it in here. I'll get rid of that. Oh, you can see that right there. So it's between 4,530 and 4,750 US dollars. That's where I'm expecting if we go higher from here. If conflicts keep conflicting and we do move higher, I'm expecting up there, but I'm not expecting higher than that before we have some kind of turnover on the quarterly time frame. Okay, because as you know, each candle here is worth 3 months' time. Prices go up, you get green, a bunch of green, and then you get a bit of red as well. I think you're going to find the reds start to occur between that 4,530 and 4,750. Could it tick over from here right now? Yes, of course, but probably no higher than about there. That is my personal next major gold target along the way to the higher targets of $8,000, $10,000, etc. That is my personal opinion, but I do think new all-time high in gold coming definitely in the next 30 days. Again, barring things that we cannot foresee. So that is gold. Let's take a look at silver. We'll be doing Bitcoin and crypto too, platinum as well. If you have any chart requests, I do go live again on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So join me then and get your chart requests in, and then I may look at it. Here is silver. Man, it just looks great. Silver on the quarterly time frame, priced in US dollars, $36.27 US cents. This is the big macro view. Of course, as you all know, my subscribers, the 45-year cup and handle formation, which is going to play out, 99.99% pure bullion, certain that that plays out, okay? Barring black swan events, as we said before. That's playing out. We are going to come up to 50. We'll spend a little bit of time, umming and ahhing about 50. Some people will say, oh, it's a triple top, $50. We've never been there before. We've never broken $50. Yeah, but we will. Triple tops usually aren't a thing, not with this massive cup and handle, okay? You might spend a little bit of time here, okay? But we are going to break $50, and then we will be in price discovery for silver, and then it's on like Donkey Kong, as I've been saying. I've had other people much smarter than me confirm it as well. You can go as high as 700, and this is before any kind of like major, if some people believe, a major economic events, etc., hyperinflation, stuff like that. This is just pure. If the world stays where it is right now, silver can go to $700 US based purely on this completion of this cup and handle formation. Now, that's not within the next 3 years or 5 years. We're talking bare minimum 10 to 20 years from now, but that's easy up to there. That is really doable, okay? You're in price discovery. It can happen. But let's take a look on the daily time frame. Okay, looking great. All we need to do is just remain above that $35 US mark, and we're fine. Just nothing really else to say. You should be dollar cost averaging into silver, and that's really it. Major targets. The next little target along the way is $50. Okay. Again, we'll spend a bit of time there, and then we'll break through 50, and then onwards and upwards we go. Let's see. If you're looking for an entry, I wouldn't be waiting for an entry here. If you're getting into precious metals for the first time and you don't have your core stack of precious metals, whether that be a physical stack of precious metals, bars, coins, or you're buying an ETF, for example, but you don't have any position in silver whatsoever, don't worry about the price. Get your core stack. Get that sorted. And then when you've got dry powder, you can just, wait for some better prices for you, whatever they are. I would suggest, though, if we do come down to have a dip down to that $34, $35 area right there at the 0.382, that might be a good little level, okay, if you've got some spare powder. If we come down to there, anywhere down to that $34.20 area, that's pretty normal, okay, and I'd even give it down to that 33.70 as I've been talking about, because that's into the zag zone, the normal expected range where after you break up, you have come back to test support. But look, it looks like it doesn't even want to break the 0.236 at $35.60. So I think it's looking good. Dollar cost average if you need to, but get your core stack, hold that now, okay? Don't worry about the prices, because we're looking very good for silver in the longer term. That is silver. Let's take a look at platinum. Actually, no, sorry. Let's take a look at the gold to silver ratio. I actually do think I think gold will continue possibly to outperform silver this week. So that's my little forecast. Okay, gold to silver ratio. As this is going up, gold's outperforming silver. As this is going, silver outperforming gold. Silver has outperformed gold the last couple of weeks. Got a little bit of room to move higher. You've got that area there around about 98. So potential for gold to, and of course, where with conflicting, gold can tend to have its time in the sun while, conflicts are happening. So I am expecting gold to outperform silver for a little bit, at least the first few days of this week. Let's go to platinum. Here is platinum on the weekly time frame. We'll take it to the daily time frame, priced in USD, 1,234 US dollars, I still think that we still take a little bit of a pause for platinum. Okay, I'm expecting the following to happen. Just follow that anywhere down into this expected support range, the ZAG zone. We have come close to it. Now, could I be wrong? And could it shoot up from here? Yes, of course. But on balance of probability, again, where gold is having a little bit of its time because of the conflict, people are rushing to gold for safety. And I do think silver and platinum will lag a little bit this week. So very easily and no problem. This is just par for course. You have a big move. Of course, that move past $1,000 up to $1,300, anywhere down into $1,145, completely expected and normal. I'm still expecting that. Okay, I'm expecting this to happen. Somewhere in here, could be at the top end, could be at the bottom end. As long as we don't close below the day or the week below the bottom end, completely fine. So looking great for platinum. And of course, platinum on the longer term is looking ridiculously amazing, just like gold is, just like silver is. Okay, it's come out of its accumulation zone. We came up to test this 1300-ish kind of area, and where did it butt up against? Right there. Okay, basically right there. That trapped money. So we've had one little test. I think, maybe a little bit of again, this is the quarterly time frame. Little bit more downward movement in the next week or so, week or two. I think you've got to take a little bit of a pause. We've had such a large move, and then it's going to be onwards and upwards. And then we'll talk about the next major targets for platinum, like we've done for gold today. But platinum will break new all-time highs. It will make new all-time highs in the next few years for sure, and probably sooner than 3 years. Okay, I'm talking sooner than that. Okay, nothing is guaranteed, but that's my humble non-financial advice opinion. You want to be in precious metals, you want to be in commodities. A commodity super cycle is occurring. That is gold, silver, platinum. Nothing else I want to talk about at the moment. You've got rhodium, which is kind of lagging at the moment. I wouldn't worry about it. You've got palladium, which might potentially be bottoming at this stage, but the focus is on the big three, gold, silver, and platinum. If you want to buy any of those, of course, head over to Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, the greatest bullion dealer in all of Australia. Not joking. Why? Because they give you free shipping when you have 20 or more items in your shopping cart. No other bullion dealer gives you free shipping in Australia. They haven't dared. They've never dared. Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, decided to dare when they started their company in May of last year. Okay, they're still in business too. They haven't gone out of business because they give you free shipping. You deserve free shipping. Why wouldn't you? Spend, and it's not even $1 spend. It's order 20 or more items, one of this, two of that, three of that, or just 20 of one thing. Mix and match whatever you like of whatever type of metal, as long as you have 20 or more items. Instant free shipping Australia-wide, sign-on delivery, express, all that other good stuff you get from the other bullion dealers, except you don't have to pay for it. Come on, man. perthbullion.com.au. At least go there, check out the shopping cart, fiddle around with it, add some different products, okay, and then look at the choices on the shipping options. You go, oh, the free shipping options come up because I now have 20 or more items in my shopping cart. It's brilliant. You know the deal. perthbullion.com.au. Let's go back. We're going to do Bitcoin and crypto. Let's go right here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin and others, the altcoin market. I won't do any individual cryptos today. We're just going to take a quick look at Bitcoin on all right, let's take a look. Why not? Here is Bitcoin on the quarterly time frame, priced in USD. $105,617 US. This is the big zoom out. I always like to start with the zoom out if I can, because look where we are right now. Okay. Do you think, is this a bullish chart or is this a bearish chart? Look, we don't have a crystal ball, but at the moment, it's looking pretty good on the quarterly time frame. Okay, let me get rid of that so you can just see it. This is the quarterly. Every candle is 3 months worth, and we're about to close this quarter. Okay, this quarter closes in 14, 15 days. Okay, we have technically made a higher high where it looks like we're maybe, possibly, I mean, we've still got another 2 weeks, but if we close anywhere up here, that's a very small wick, and we like the small wicks. We like the price to close at major time frames at close to the highs. Okay, this sets it up really nice. Now, again, we've got a couple of weeks to go, so let's pop on to the monthly. Monthly may be a little bit different, and the weekly as well. So let's take a look right here. You do have to watch out now, all right, on the opposite side. Even though that quarterly time frame looks good right now, go look at the opposite side. Potential bearish divergence playing out on the weekly time frame. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a higher high here, so higher high on the weekly time frame, and then, or even you can take it from there if you want to. You could just do that. It is technically a higher high. It is a lower high on the relative strength index at the moment. So that's potential bearish divergence playing out. And as we have been speaking about, though, don't stress too much because, look, you've had a great move. You've had a great move from $75,000 to a new all-time high. Congratulations to all. A bit of a retrace from here is actually very normal. Now, the bearish divergence here just means, well, just some lower prices. It doesn't mean the price is tanked and you're gone forever. It just means, on balance of probability, I think lower prices are probably coming within the next few weeks. Okay. Now, I'm cool as long as it stays above roughly that $89,000 mark, which we've been speaking about. Why is that? Because it's the zag zone. It's the expected support range between a significant low and a significant high. That's the low, that's the high, and you come down anywhere to test here is completely fine. So anywhere between that $97,600 level and that $89,000 level. Half a course, man, that's fine. Bit of bearish divergence on the weekly, come back down to test it somewhere. This will probably reset, and then as long as you don't close below that $89,000 level, it's pretty simple. You could say, yeah, okay, we can easily keep rocking up from here. I do give preference to, and many other people have talked about it though, on the daily time frame. If you can just see here, this is all the trapped money right here. So that kind of sits around there. So really, I want to give preference to that $94,000 level. That's it. I feel like a broken record at the moment. You know I've been saying this. But my bias is to the downside. And for you, if that's a great opportunity to scoop up cheaper Bitcoin because you believe Bitcoin is just, you know, going onwards and upwards from here over the next 5, 10, 20 years, etc. Do you believe Bitcoin could get to $1 million per Bitcoin? Quite possibly. So if you believe that, it's just a great time to dollar cost average anyway, or buy the dip, as we say. Post a comment below. Will you be buying the dip if it gets down to this kind of area? I would like to know your thoughts. You just don't want to cross through that $89,000 area. That would signal more significant weakness, okay? And then we'd be talking about, well, we won't go there just yet. But again, over the longer term, you might just think that that's a perfect opportunity to dollar cost average more, okay? So that is Bitcoin. I am expecting lower prices coming, okay? What would negate that? Well, making higher prices. Speaking of higher prices, I'll give you the quick heads up. I'll tell you who's absolutely bullish on Bitcoin and still bullish on Bitcoin for this year as well. This is, if you go over to my channel, Good Morning Stackers, I did a live show with Bisha from Stormrake, stormrake.com. So Bisha believes $200,000 USD Bitcoin could come this year still. Okay, you've still got 6 months to do that. So I had an hour-long something chat with Bisha, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Stormrake, stormrake.com, full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. We'll get to altcoins in just a second, but seeing as though I'm here, stormrake.com, full-service cryptocurrency brokerage. What that means is they do it all for you. You don't have to mess around with exchanges. You just give them a call or an email and say, I want to buy X amount of Bitcoin or a bunch of the other alts they have there, and they just do it all for you. They find the best prices. They can send it to you if you want to do self-custody. They can do hot wallets or cold wallets for you. They can do full service custody for you if you like, or you can hold it in your hands as such. Not your keys, not your wallets. You can do it whatever you like, but they do it all for you. You don't have to mess around with exchanges, etc. Now, do they charge a fee? Of course they do, because they're in it to make some money too. Now, they charge the market price of whatever you're buying plus 3%. However, if you sign up within the next 14 days, by June 30th, you will get a lifetime 33% discount off the brokerage fees. Now, you'll still get 33% off the brokerage fees no matter whether you sign up with this link below, whether it's before June 30 or after June 30, but their brokerage fees are going up. So they're currently at 3%. Okay, they're going up a little bit higher. But if you sign up with my link here, I'll put a link below. You can even just look at that and type it into an address bar. You will get, before June 30, 2% fees for the lifetime of the account. Okay, so I am sponsored by and I'm partnered with Stormrake, stormrake.com. Use that code below, not the code, that's an address bar. I'll put a link below in the info section of the YouTube page, part of the pinned comment, and I'll put it everywhere. Click on that link, sign up for an account, and you are also grandfathered in. If you sign up with a new account before June 30th, it is 2% forever for the lifetime of the account. So if, come July 1, they're going to increase the fees. No, you get it for 2%. Market price plus 2%. Then in 5 years' time, 2 years' time, 10 years' time, if their fees keep creeping up and up, you're grandfathered in. It's always and forever, lifetime of the account, 2% only. Okay? Again, got to get in before June the 30th. I would highly suggest at least creating an account, locking in the 2% fee, okay, and then deciding you might not buy Bitcoin for an entire year, but you're grandfathered in. And I would highly suggest that you send this to all your friends, all your family who you think might be wanting to get into crypto later on down the track, and say, hey, look, don't buy now, but just sign up with this account, okay, with my link, etc., just to get those lifetime 2% fees. Okay, before June 30, it might creep up a little bit, but you'll always get 33% off. Got it? Good. Let's take a look at. We will take a look at right here. Let's go to altcoins very quickly. We'll take a look at others. Here is others. On the daily time frame, others is the altcoin market minus the top 10. Not a lot to say. I'll go to the 4-hour. We need to creep through. We need to creep above this uptrend line, and we need to get through here. All I really need to tell you is we have to get through $253 billion for me personally to say looking much better. Okay, what would be positive? I'll tell you what would be positive. Cracking through here. That would be a higher high, so that's actually good from this high and this low, and cracking through this uptrend line, so somewhere there, so you can call it 245 billion, but really from this high and this low, you've got the expected range you need to get through at the 0.382, that's about 250 billion. So really, preferably, I want 250 billion, at least to say we've got a decent halfway chance of going through higher prices for altcoins right here, and the ultimate would be breaking through that 270 billion, as we've been talking about. You break through there, game on through that downtrend line right there. That is looking really good, okay? We're not there yet. We're at the bottom end. So I can't tell you 100% where we're going to go. At least make a higher high here above that 245, and then we'll talk about potential higher prices for there. But as you've probably seen, your favorite altcoins have been down recently. What are some of my favorites? We've got ACH right here, Alchemy Pay. We've got Algo, of course. Algo is an ISO 20022 compliant crypto, which we talked about with Bishop. Okay, those ISO compliant tokens, of which he's very bullish on. Things like, wow, Fartcoin's doing quite well at the moment. It's actually kind of holding up. You've got Hype. I said I wouldn't talk about individual crypto, and yet here we are. Hype is holding up incredibly well versus Bitcoin. Okay, so if you are going to be in altcoins at the moment, Hype would be one to definitely consider being in. That's pretty much it. Nothing confirmed for crypto for me to say absolutely 100% moving higher from here. If you have a chart request, let me know, because I will be going live tomorrow on X and on YouTube. Do me a favor and head over to youtube.com/@goodmorningstackers, and please follow me at x.com/itsjoemain. I go live there as well, again on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Ladies and gentlemen, you have watched Good Morning Stackers for Monday, the 16th of June 2025 with me, Joe Main. You'll get a live show tomorrow. Bring yourselves, bring your winning attitudes. Also bring your tasty beverages, because we'll do a synchronized slurp live as well. Let's get one more in. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Thanks for watching, people. Your Monday morning market update. Stay safe, stay informed, keep stacking whatever you're stacking, and I'll see you next time.